excuse me. Got my little 03 Expedition 4.6 four-wheel drive. Needs an inspection, so I've been doing a little once-over on it. We don't have much of an inspection over here, but they do generally check if the lights work. Well, I found that one of the license plate lights was out, but oh yeah, take a look at this. See if I can see if it still works now that I've tweaked it. Okay, good. They just got little 194 bulbs in there, but they're held on. That's not a screw. It's one of those stupid plastic connectors with the Phillips thing in it. So of course they didn't come out. I had to pry them out, break them, and I ended up using two from my kit. But they're all working again. Everything else seems to work. But while I was dorking around with it, I remembered that my daughter said recently that it hadn't had any heat. And so I'm checking into that right now. I'm kind of letting it warm up. Still runs pretty good. No major issues. We've probably got, what? Put over, well, I got it at 126. It's at 147. So we put about 21,000 miles on it. Rusty bugger. She's doing pretty good. But this has one little thing in the heater system that reminds me of my old Mercedes. This little line here, this gray line, that's a vacuum line that goes into a fitting on the firewall that actually has a valve that turns on and off the water to the heater core. And I'm betting that that thing has failed. That's my guess anyway. So I'm going to put this down for a second. We're going to get, I think, a 10 millimeter, pop this cover off, and see what we got. It is not a 10, it's a flipping 11. Now I know I like Spinal Tap, but why would you use an 11? It's probably 7/16 or something. I don't know. Just annoying freak fasteners that we find. I also see something that's detached over here. I'm going to try to probably put that cover back on. Looks like it's broken, so we'll see. There, now that comes off. Third. And that's the valve right here. This valve, feel some heat here. Basically feel some heat. But that valve shuts off the hot coolant from going in when you have the air conditioner on, so it makes the air conditioner a little more efficient in this piece. If that valve fails, you aren't going to get any heat. Now your choice is most likely just to bypass it with a piece of tubing, a hose in between it. It would most likely work, because it is just the standard crimp clamps, snappy clamps like that. Air heat. This is a double HVAC system in this truck. So I don't think that's going to matter much, but seeing it. And I got this thing pretty well warmed up now, so I'm going to go flip the heat on the inside and see what we got. Heat. All the heat. She is 100% right. We do not have heat. I wonder if we have rear heat. We'll turn all of those on and go check that. Yep. Of course. The rear heat, not that you can see it, but that is rather heaty. And the front heat is certainly not. So, what's that tell us? That tells me that that valve is probably stuck. Now, it's just a vacuum valve, and I think my vacuum pump is broken. But if you can get in here and test this, doesn't feel like it's giving me any significant signal, so maybe car, which stinks. But I'm going to bet that if I hook that to manifold vacuum, it'll work. I'm going to go do a couple of tests and we'll be back. Okay, so here's what it should do. So the valve itself is good, but I'm not getting enough of a vacuum signal to pull it. We're going to try to do that. Hold that like that. Or is this thing backwards and that shuts off only when the air conditioner's on? Let's find out. Much. We've got some heat. I'm wondering if that valve just had a little bit of a pluggage in it. Maybe that was it. That valve may have just had a little bit of a plug in it, because we got some pretty good heat coming out now. So I'm still not 100% convinced that that thing is working properly with my vacuum line here, but I got heat again, so I don't feel like doing any more work because I got to take it to go get an inspection, and then we're going to call it a day. So anyway, yeah, if y'all ever lose heat on one of these expeditions, I'm not sure if the single AC units have them, but I know the doubles do, obviously. Look for this valve over here on the passenger side of the engine. And yeah, you can give it a stroke or two and see if that helps. Worst case, bypass it or tie wrap it in whatever direction you need it to be to make sure you got heat. So there you go. Hope you're all having a good day. Talk to you later.